First off, let me start by saying thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy just to be here. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's because I was out with Eddie all night. And he took me to all the clubs and all that, and that was really cool. I've never been to Uganda before. I've actually never even been to Africa, so I want to really take the time to go far back and just tell a really, really important story that means a lot to me, and I think that once I get to the end of it, you'll see why. So for me, growing up on the south side of Chicago, and just growing up in the ghettos of Chicago, not really having heat in the wintertime or AC in the summertime, sleeping in a 3-bedroom apartment with my 5 siblings, and we were all in the dining room together with all of our beds, and just coming from complete and utter poverty. And my parents, they did the best that they could to help us and raise us in the right way, but just on a financial end of things, we just didn't have it. So, like for me, to have pride in where I came from, it just didn't exist. But as time progressed, I wanted to know more about where I was from, and that really meant something to me, which took me on this journey of discovering like the continent of Africa, the beautiful people here, and eventually led me to want to express that through my music. So doing that transition from heavy R&B music to then turning around and doing Afrobeats, it was very important for me to be as respectful as possible to the genre, knowing that that I am not technically born here, although I am from here because my ancestors are from here, right? Yeah. So it led me on that journey, and I wanted to learn more about the culture. I wanted to learn more about the music, which led me to meeting my brother here, Eddy Kenzo. So I met him last year. It was actually last year around this time, and I met him at an event for Grammy consideration. So we talked to one another. We actually ended up being seated right next to one another. We had a great conversation. We instantly hit it off, and you know how that goes when recording artists hit it off. We want to make music right away, right? So Eddie's like, hey, let's go to the studio and let's try and see if we can get something in. So we went to the studio the next day, and he played a beat for me, and he only played one, and it was the beat that Stein made. And initially, I was like, maybe I'll use this beat, maybe we should do something else, let me hear something else. But Angela was like, no, I love this instrumental, you guys have to do something to it. So we were waiting outside for a considerable amount of time. The engineer was running a little late. We had our 3 little ones that were inside of the car, ages currently 9, 7, and 5. We make it inside of the recording studio, and it was an instant vibe. We're knocking the record out. It's almost like God was just speaking through us because it just felt right. And I think that it is reflected in the way that the record sounds, because it sounds so fun, it sounds so upbeat, it sounds so genuine, and it goes back to what Eddy was saying, which is that, when you're around genuine people and when you can feel that energy, it's bound to come out inside of the record. And to see our little ones sitting in the studio and just really enjoying the music that was being created around them, it was a very, very, very powerful thing. And now to be here a year later,
at least we have witnessed in our generation that impossible is nothing. Today, tubanga twasobola okubanga tutambudde ne tufuna awards nyingi, Nickelodeons, now BET, then Grammy nominated kinene. Nze nomination alone is enough, it's amazing. I'm so grateful. It's big. It's so big. I'm so grateful to ever met Angela and Matt. I'll never forget the moments in studio with your beautiful kids. They're all quiet waiting for us to record, and the patience and that spirit of family. I'll never forget that meant a lot to me. I'm also surprised that God is gifting us with a nomination. I think we 100% is nothing. To all my country people, ndi musanyufu olw'ekirabo Mukama kyeyatugobaddeko si kyangu. Grammy kirabo kinene. Yesuuse wane waffe. Waliwo abantu bali bakkirira bagamba ono oli si kituufu. Si kituufu. Eno yesuuse wane waffe. Kyabugagga, I'm speechless by the way. Simanyi kyakwogera kubanga this is too much for me. Era sijja kwogera nnyo but neebaza Mukama Katonda atusobozesezza okutuuka ku kira ky'omuwendo kino. Mwebaza nnyo honestly speaking, I'm speechless.